Hello, I am Max and you're watching Cool Stuff in Weird Cars, and I'm coming to you today with the first video of 2021. Yes, welcome to the new year, and don't really have much to say about the last year. Things didn't go too well. I didn't really post all too much, and I mean, I posted some okay stuff, but the big thing was that we hit 10,000 subscribers, which I don't think I ever even made a video after that happened, so thank you all very much for that. And for today's video, we're going to go over just updates of my vehicles for the new year, and I'll show you what's been going on, and that's about it. So let's get started with 1996 Dodge Ram. I've had this truck for just about 2 years now, and it's been reliable. Still runs just fine. I was actually just driving it around, so it's not like it's going to be a cold start or anything. But we'll start it up real quick, see if this even works. Probably not, that's not the correct keys. But if you don't remember, I bought this truck about 2 years ago now with about 126,000 miles. It now has 143,000 because I've driven halfway across the country multiple times. And it's 5-speed manual. I was listening to country music. I love buzzers. But there's that. Like I said, warm starts, so nothing too crazy, but still runs just fine. It still has the tick in the front end, which I need to find out what it is, and I need to probably fix it, but oh well. This buzzer is incredibly annoying. But otherwise, it's been pretty much the same. The radio is giving me some issues. If I push on in certain areas, it disconnects, it pops out a lot. I think I want to replace that at some point. But this truck will be subject to a 2-year ownership review here sometime soon, so I'm not going to go over it too much at the moment. So we'll shut it down, shift it in the first gear, and we'll go check out the next car. So next up we have the only other car that's over at my house right now, which is my 1993 Toyota Celsior. Of course, this is the right-hand drive Japanese version. Japanese domestic market version of the Lexus LS400, and I've been using this thing kind of as a daily driver since the time I got it, which I've had it for about 6 months, maybe 7 months now, roughly. But this will actually be a cold start, so we'll go ahead and do that real quick. We're currently at 90,870 kilometers, which is like 58,000 miles, I think. So we'll go ahead and give it a little start up. As you can tell, it's pretty cold outside today. 1 degree Celsius, probably about 33 degrees Fahrenheit. But nothing too crazy with this thing. It's just been kind of, like I said, daily driver. Nothing's really happened. Nothing's went wrong. So there's not much to report with this car. I might do a little bit of an ownership review, like 6 months or something, sometime coming up here. Not entirely sure, since, like I said, there's nothing going on with it. But yeah, it's been nice and reliable, and I guess in a minute we'll head over to the other location and we'll look at the Intrepid and the TC, even though not really much has happened with them either, except for the Intrepid went on a road trip. So we'll check that out real quick after I shut this thing off and we hop out. And of course, next up we have my 2004 Dodge Intrepid SE with the 2.7 liter V6. This car has very low miles, about 32,826 from what I can tell from standing right here. I haven't driven this car in a couple of weeks. It's been very cold, as I showed, so we shall see how it does real quick. Good song, but copyright, so a little slow, but started up perfectly fine. Check engine light is still on, so close this door so we don't get too cold in here. So as I mentioned, this car actually went on a road trip fairly recently. I think it was for Thanksgiving. Yeah, it was roughly Thanksgiving. Drove this car pretty much halfway across the state of Missouri and hung out with an uncle for Thanksgiving, and the car did great. It got 25.5 miles per gallon, which was definitely a bit of a surprise to me, since I had really only gotten like 17 to 18 out of it, even driving on highways and stuff around basically where I live. It went from 32,400 to 32,700 or so miles, and I haven't really driven it at all since. I drove it a little bit, not a lot. But yeah, it's probably been a month since I started this thing. Still fired right up, luckily. I think actually driving it has been helping the battery actually stay up, which is very nice. I love the way these gauges look whenever the lights are on as well. If you've never seen an Intrepid with the lights on and the gauges, I do enjoy it. Nothing too crazy in the center console. And that's really it for this thing. I haven't really been driving it. It's actually, I'm very close to being at 2,000 miles driven on this car. And I've had this car for almost a year now, or right around a year. Similar to my Ram, I got it in January of last year. I got the Ram 2 years ago in January. But yeah, we'll just leave this one running because I'm going to take it home. We'll put the window down a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't screw up. It did not. So we'll leave the lights on. We have one more vehicle left to go, and it is in there. And there it is. This is my most obscure and rarest vehicle. If you've never seen it, it is a 1989 Chrysler TC by Maserati. Pulled it out of a barn over 4 years ago now. About 4 years and 3 months, I think, because it was November of 2016 when I originally got this car. It sat in the barn for around 20 years, somewhere around there, because the last inspection was in 1999, or it expired in 1999, I'm pretty sure. So we will see if I can actually pick up the hood here, and we'll see if this thing will start. So this car has not been started since my last update video, which was, I believe, in the beginning of November. So we'll go ahead and hook up the battery, see if it has any battery charge left. So far I didn't get any sparks off of that, or like, I guess it called sparks. But shall see, do we have any interior lights? We do, which is fantastic. It's always hard to see inside this one because there's no good lights in it. There's also only one light in here, and it's that. So what is this? Camera. So we'll see if this thing will start. I'm sure it will if it turns over, that is. But we will go ahead and see. We got fuel pump, which is good. What's behind my back? What is this? Rain-X. Oh, that was from whenever I originally got this thing running. One of the first days I drove this thing, it was pouring down rain. And my windshield wipers stopped working in the middle of the time that I was driving it on that day. So I had to go to the auto parts store and buy Rain-X because I couldn't see out of the windshield. Window went down. That's good. It is 12 o'clock noon, of course. It actually is really close to 12 o'clock right now. Still shows 70,094 miles because the odometer does not work. We have to wait for the ABS pump to finish, which ABS light is not even on anymore. And since that is done, the tachometer kind of flipped out for a second there. This is the 5-speed manual, which makes it the obscure. You can't see it at all, but that actually makes this car obscure. That's what makes it mostly obscure. But let's see if it starts. Come on. Look at that. Easy. Absolutely easy. We got a few dashboard lights. I had the seatbelt light in the middle of the dash was working at one point. It is not working right now. But this car actually is more unique from the other Chryslers of the same era because it actually has red backlit gauges instead of green. One of the more interesting things about it. So, I don't know why it started beeping either. Yeah, that is that. That is all 4 of my current vehicles. Gotta love the dual exit exhaust tip that only has one side that actually works. Only the left side actually works. I don't think it should fill up the garage with too much exhaust fumes, so I'll let it run for a bit. That's why I parked it like this, so I could actually have the exhaust going out of the garage instead of into the garage, because I usually back it in. But there we go. That is all of my vehicles. And I would like to also update you on another thing, which is I have a new Twitter account. So I was using my, basically, what I'm going to call my personal Twitter account for the most part over the last 10 years, roughly. And it's kind of went in a different direction as of now, for gaming stuff mostly. So I decided to make a Twitter specifically for this channel and all the real life car stuff I do, which should hopefully be a lot more this year compared to the last, well, specifically last year. But you can follow that. It's at CSWeirdCars on Twitter. And if you'd still like to follow my personal account, it is at TestDrive426. So, thank you all very, very much for watching this little update video. As I said, there will be ownership reviews of both the Intrepid and the Ram coming up soon, because I want to talk a little bit more in depth about both of them, especially the Ram, because of course my review video I made of it is 2 years old now, roughly. So I got a lot more stuff to say. But yeah, thank you all very, very much for watching this video, and I shall see you in the next one.